celebrate their 80th and 125th anniversary, respectively. These are two great family businesses that have, for decades, provided support in the community and are here tonight to recommit our continuous support of the institutions that make this a super place to work, play, and eat, Georgetown. At age 13, Henry CoCoPIECo joined the famous 79th Highlanders of New York as a wagon driver and was stationed at Georgetown College. Our name was Copperthwaite until 1864 when the family became citizens of the United States for service in the Civil War. We hail from Scotland and Ireland and came via the trade routes to Meriden, Connecticut from Antigua. Until 1997, there was a Copperthwaite Street in Georgetown, now where South Street is, down Wisconsin, near the Ritz-Carlton. Marion Barry took that name away. Anyway.
Because he couldn't pronounce it.
Couldn't pronounce it, there you go. There are 29 descendants of our family buried in Arlington and other national cemeteries. 15 members of our family went off to the Great War, World War I, and only 7 came back. We have a silver medalist, a distinguished Flying Cross great-grandson of Henry and Joanna at Arlington, and William Copperthwaite and his wife were the most recent burials this past winter at Arlington National Cemetery for service to our country. They are represented tonight by their daughter Candace Copperthwaite McDonald and son Guy Copperthwaite. In 1885, Henry Copperthwaite and Joanna Copperthwaite O'Neill Copperthwaite came back and to Georgetown and started baking pies on Thanksgiving Eve. They turned about a 90-cent profit. In 1888, 125 years ago, the Connecticut Pie Copperthwaite Company was incorporated. Family and friends, Civil War buddies flocked to Georgetown to work at the newly constructed modern pie facility at the corner of Wisconsin and O Street. By 1913, the time of the 25th anniversary, there were 230 wagons, 600 horses, and 15,000 employees. And here, along with our factories in New Haven, Baltimore, Richmond, Petersburg, Newport News, Memphis, and Omaha, made us the largest pie concern on the planet and the second largest bakery in the United States. By 1924, when the Senators won the World Series and over 100,000 folks turned out on the streets of Washington to celebrate, we were baking over 50,000 pies a day, and on average, every man, woman, and child in the District of Columbia ate one of our pies every 5 days. And Smokeball Johnson and the man from Connecticut were the most popular characters in Washington. And here's an ad from back in the day, and it proclaims the two most famous characters. The pitcher for the 1924 winning 7th game World Series Washington Senator, Smokeball Johnson, and the man from Connecticut as portrayed. When the Queen of England celebrated her Jubilee, she called on our family to come and make her pies. Victoria, not Elizabeth. I'd like to introduce Billy Martin, who is a 4th-generation proprietor where we all gathered, and Billy had some words to say, and we'd like to present him with a picture from Carol Dyer, a famous artist who had emergency surgery this past week and couldn't be here. And the proceeds from this picture, which we hope folks pick one up, all go to St. John's and the work in the community, their elder program and their kids program, 100% of the proceeds. So, presentation to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Michael. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
It was just a little griddle with a little, ma'am. We had a facility on M Street that had 9 ovens cranking out about 2,200 pies an hour.
What kind of stove?
They were steam powered. They were steam boilers that drove the heat to bake the crust and the filling. And it was automated. We were turning out 50,000 pies a day. They weren't. These were done a little bit differently. These are a little handcrafted.
This was not the one up the street.
It was. It started there, but we had facilities not only on corner of O, where the CBS is, in Wisconsin. We had facilities across from Georgetown Park on M Street, and then where the Bayou used to be and Water Street, we had facilities there. And then we had a facility on Capitol Hill and one on 8th Street. So 230 wagons, 600 horses.
Then it branched out from there. They went everywhere, everywhere.
Wait, turn left. Turn left. Just...
I mean, pie is great. Who doesn't like pie? Come on, let's put it together. You gotta love pie. You gotta love the Copperthites. And I thank all the Copperthites that are here. Thank you. Where's your wife? Where is she?
I'm over here.
I just want to thank you because you did help with the pie today, and I know what that means to you. Okay, so we're appreciative of that. For those of you that are maybe new to here, as Mike says, the family, they've been here for 125 years, and reigniting the flame to the family here, trying to get it back into Georgetown, and I commend them for it. I think it's going to be great. But any testament to the pie is fantastic. Everybody that's tried it loves it. He needs to spread it out a little bit more now, which he's going to do. Can't just, everybody won't go to McLean, so we might have to figure out how to get it over here to Martin's Tavern. But Martin's Tavern has been here, as Mike mentioned, since 1933, and we opened up after right at the end of Prohibition. I'm the fourth generation, Billy Martin, to run the tavern, and my grandfather, my great-grandfather, and my father were all Billy Martins. My grandfather played for the Miracle Braves in 1914. They ended up winning the World Series. They were really way underdogs, but they didn't come back to win it. My grandfather was played baseball, played professional baseball, football, and basketball as well, but went to Georgetown University. He's in the Hall of Fame there for baseball. My father was a Golden Glove boxer for Georgetown, and I just was here running the business the whole time. So, you know, I didn't, I'm a good athlete.
Since 1933, he looks young for his age.
Well, it's amazing what the Fountain of Youth will do for you. But we're very proud to be here. We are the oldest family-run restaurant in Washington, D.C. For 80 years this year. We're celebrating, and we've had a couple events so far. It's been very nice. We have some special booths throughout the restaurant. You'll see little plaques that are dedicated, some of them. JFK proposed to Jackie in this booth over here, and the family comes and loves to enjoy that booth up quite a bit. We've had the Truman booth, we have the Nixon booth. It's interesting. That's what I get for mentioning Nixon, really. Watergate. Yeah, we didn't need the sounds of the water coming.
The erased 40 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. But it is interesting because Nixon would sit in a booth over here, and the Kennedy. So the Kennedy's on the left, Nixon on the right, and a lot of people like to have fun with that. But and we have a little special room here called the Dugout, and that's called the Dugout. My grandfather played professional baseball, and he and his friends would used to sit back there quite a bit. And our menus over the years has not changed much. It's pretty much virtually the same. We've had a few things. We have a new chef. We have a wonderful staff. We have members that have worked here for 100 years.
Father painted that Dugout. These are
Yes. Oh, really? Yeah. Bob Sellers did the sign that actually says Dugout. He did paint that, and they've been trying to purchase it for me for quite a while. But I told him, I said, Bob was a very dear friend of my father's, and I know him too, so I got to keep that. But we're just happy to be here. You know, keeping Washington, keeping Georgetown going. It's you know, that's what Georgetown's all about: is history, heritage, and it's nice to have the Copperthites back in town here to also be another big anchor in the Georgetown area, Washington area. Welcome them back. So I just love everything we're doing here. Love what you're doing, and thank you very much. So enjoy the pie, and I'm glad you're all here.
All right, thank you. I want to introduce the artist who did the pie. I want to give you. This was done in 1902. If I do the math correctly, that was for our 15th anniversary. In 1902. The Pie Man, this was in all 6 city newspapers at the time, but this is from the Washington Times, and it's based and carved after a 1902 Washington Herald advertisement and illustration done for the Connecticut Pie Company's 15th anniversary and ran in all 6 city newspapers. It was drawn by illustrator John Tenniel, who was the illustrator for a famous British satire called Punch magazine. And he was Lewis Carroll's illustrator for a little book called Alice in Wonderland. If you notice, this may look a little bit like Tweedledee. So Ed Pribble, a known folk artist and sculptor, agreed to do this for our 125th anniversary, and he's here from Illinois, and I'd like to bring him up and have everybody give him a round of applause and thank him for doing this. talk about your work.
I'm good at making, I'm not good at talking about them. This is a project Mike first brought to me when I met him at an art show a while back. And I was excited to participate in a project with obviously such a rich history, and I was honored to do it. So it's one of my favorite pieces I've worked on to date. So thanks for letting me be part of it.
How long did it take to make?
Worked on it for a period of a couple months. So
What flavor's the pie?
I think it's blackberry.
No, it's a whortleberry pie.
Okay.
Whortleberry.
I don't even know what that is.
Whortleberry is a berry like a blackberry that grows along Hadrian's Wall, and we won at the Glass Palace in England exposition mince pie and whortleberry pie back in 1898.
Okay.
We say it's a whortleberry pie.
There you go. Thank you very much.
And we'd like to give you a pie as a thank you.
Thank you very much. Great.
And you can find Ed online, and his work is fantastic, and I hope you guys look, if you're into folk art like we are. This is outstanding, and all of his other work is very outstanding. Billy, I'd like to give you a pie. We know we've been trying to give Billy a cherry pie, but every time we're here with one, it gets open and people sample it. So take this one on your trip with you and eat it.
I will enjoy that. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
I don't know if Carol Joint from the Washingtonian is here. And I want to introduce Jerry McCoy. I don't know if you want to speak a moment and talk about the library, and we'd love for you to talk about the event we're doing there.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jerry McCoy. I'm the Special Collections Librarian at the Georgetown Neighborhood Library's Peabody Room up at the top of the hill at the corner of Wisconsin and R Street. If you've never been to the Peabody Room, I welcome you to stop by. It's just filled with Georgetown history, which we almost lost in 2007 when the building went up in flames. I stood out on R Street, bawled my eyes out. It was the worst day of my life. But Peabody Room is back and better than ever before. We opened up in October of 2010, and I still can't believe the new Peabody Room. I mean, it's truly beautiful. Mike is going to have a special event